What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So one of the biggest shows of the year, especially in the post-Olympia tour, Prague Pro is now in the history books. So let's take a look at the scorecard for the men's open bodybuilding. And as expected, it was a very close show between Samson and Martin, who is now a 2-time Prague Pro champion. He was able to beat Samson Dauda by 2 points, with only 1 point difference, both at the prejudging as well as at the finals. So it was like a redemption arc for Martin, especially after the Pittsburgh Pro this year. First of all, he ended up beating Nick Walker at the Olympia this year, but a lot of people thought that he should have beaten Samson Dauda too and placed top 4 at the Olympia. So this close of a scorecard only indicates one thing. This could have gone either way, and I'm pretty sure if they gave it to Samson Dauda here, they probably would have said that it's open bodybuilding, and they preferred a bigger, a more aesthetic, and a better shapely guy over a short but a more dense-looking bodybuilder. But the judges have a very solid argument for Martin that he was just so damn ripped. He came in so shredded that he made Samson Dauda look a bit soft in some areas on the stage. Nevertheless, this was a career-changing win for Martin, who was being called a one-hit wonder after placing top 4 at the Olympia last year, and then he just wasn't able to present his best look at the Pittsburgh Pro. And Martin is a perfect example of a guy who stuck with his coach, Stefan, although he faced some massive criticism after Pittsburgh Pro. But this is what you can call a 100% on condition. So this is something which is very hard to duplicate, even for Martin. But he deserved this win. He's 28 years old, and he just beat a former Olympia champion. So legendary stuff by him and his coach Stefan, who by the way had the best reaction of the night when Martin was announced the winner. So massive congrats to both Martin and his coach. So the man has done it again. The Olympia qualification, that is in the bag for another year, and also very early in the season. Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. So where does Samson Dauda go from here? So once again Sean Ray called it out that Samson Dauda is taking a big risk. Those guys were not in favor of Samson doing Prague, especially so early after the Olympia, because what he was trying to do was crushing the scale. But honestly, this was a very good look by Samson. But that being said, I still prefer his Olympia 2024 look because he was way more detailed, way more ripped, especially the quads on him. They were pretty damn solid when he won the Olympia. But still, how he was able to fill back up in just under 2 weeks' time, that was really something. So the thing that hurt Samson Dauda the most, they were his quads from the front, like I just mentioned. They just weren't the same as we have seen from him in the past. Now on the flip side, there was a very valid reason for Samson doing this show. I mean, this is how these guys make money. And after taking some financial hits throughout this year, first at the Arnold and then at the Olympia this year, this was his chance to win $30,000. So there will be now some doubts on Samson Dauda after this loss. I am going to state some facts here. The man has literally lost 3 out of the 3 shows that he has done after winning the Olympia last year. The Arnold, the Olympia, and now Prague, which kind of strengthens this narrative that he won last year because both Derek and Hadi, they came in off. Now don't get me wrong, he 100% deserved that win, and he's a great champion, and he can 100% bounce back. But it's gonna be a big challenge for him in 2026. So he brought the condition at the Olympia, but he was marked down for not having enough size. He brought the size in Prague. The judges again picked a more ripped guy over Samson. So a long off season that is due for Samson Dauda, as the man has been competing non-stop since 2021. So Michael Krizo was clearly in 3rd place here, the biggest, most muscular guy on the stage. And again, I have got to say, if only his waistline, that was a bit tighter. If only he had a way to manage those obliques on him. He would have been a true nightmare for everyone, not just here in Prague, but even at the Olympia stage, because he would have that ideal X-frame, that crazy V-taper. But that being said, the kind of size that he has and the condition that he's able to achieve every single time, that is bonkers. So Krizo just lacks the flow because of that wide waistline. But a very well-deserved third place finish for him here in Prague. The 3 times 212 Olympia champion Kion, he narrowly defeated one Prodels, who is a guy who has never even placed top 2 in any IFBB Pro show. That pretty much answers the one question on where would have Kion Pearson placed if he did the Open Olympia this year. So the hype was pretty damn good. In fact, my own channel, that was a big contributor towards that hype, and I 100% believed that Kion is gonna be something in the men's open. But the outcome, that isn't what many of us expected. He went from a guy who was like the biggest threat to Samson to almost getting beat by one Prodels who without a doubt has one hell of a physique and definitely a future top Olympian in the making. But the fact is, he isn't a pro show winner just yet. So Kion wasn't given enough chance to stand in the middle from the start to the end, neither at the prejudging nor during the finals, which obviously indicates one thing, that he doesn't have the size just yet. He doesn't have the thickness or the density to battle it out with the top guys in the men's open. Now, I know lots of people thought that Kion Pearson would win against Derek Lunsford and Hadi Chopin, as these guys were in the same division as Kion Pearson. Well, hopefully, all those must have gotten a clear answer after Prague. So safe to say that there will be more 212 Olympia titles that Kion will be winning, and the permanent switch to the men's open bodybuilding, that's out of question for 2026. But that being said, he's on the right track. He needs a big off-season, and he has to be a bit careful on how much muscle, how much mass he's willing to put on, because he has to make sure that his waistline, his midsection, that stays very tight. So, a star has already born in the form of one Prodels. 2 very awesome performances by him in 2 back-to-back shows, first at the British Grand Prix and then here in Prague, showing the world that he's the real deal and without a doubt a multiple times future Olympian. So if this guy improves his back, especially in terms of depth and the detail, sky is the limit for him. I think Prague 2025, that is the closest show that we have seen in 2026, where the top 4 out of the top 5 guys, they were barely separated by 1 or 2 points. So how did you guys rate Samson and Kion's performance here in Prague? Also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.